And Landon, I want to start here by tipping my hat to you guys, because if I recall, my memory usually serves me pretty well in these situations. In April or so, before a couple earnings reports ago, you guys were very, very optimistic about this company. It was one of your kind of top picks. And I got to say, looking backwards on the chart, it looks as if that was the case, it's been a good run.
Yeah, LikeFolio has been bullish on Pinterest for quite a while, and it's just a case of us following the data, people talking about using this platform, signing up for it, and more importantly, really enjoying it. It's a happiness factor. They have extremely high happiness rating for a social network, or whatever it's defined as. 72% happy, really high, very strong numbers, and I think it becomes from all the stuff that you guys have been talking about. It's the fact that there are things that you are actively searching for, and whatever that is, if they show you an ad in that category, as long as they're doing a good job of serving relevant ads, then you're actually welcoming the ad. This is something that enhances your experience. With every other platform in the world, it's intrusive. It's an interruption. It's like, hey, watch this pre-roll while you wait for the thing that you actually want to see. That's not the case with Pinterest. So they've kind of figured out a nice little niche for themselves. And, we're talking about people getting on there and finding things. This is a discovery on Pinterest. So this is people saying that they found something that interests them on Pinterest. And look at how well, I mean, it was, even before this last run up, it was doing well. It was on a nice little steady uptrend where people are finding more and more things. But just recently, I don't know if they changed their algorithm or what, but they are absolutely nailing it. Plus 17% year over year. This is people basically saying, I was looking for something and I found it, or I discovered a new thing on Pinterest. And a lot of the time that's coming from an ad. And if you get extremely effective ads, then the ad prices are going to go up. The demand is going to go up from advertisers, and the users are going to continue to like them because they're so relevant. So it's a sort of a perpetual cycle. And this is a rare find as far as the way a social media company works. And so they have absolutely nailed it. And Evelyn brought up some good points about the U.S. mix. I think it's about 75% non-U.S. But what's interesting is 85% of their ad revenue comes from the U.S. So they can either grow inside the U.S. and get that ad revenue going up, because obviously U.S. customers are extremely valuable for this company, or if they increase the ability to monetize ads outside the U.S., then that's a huge untapped region for them because they've got the users. They just need to get the ad revenue coming in. So this is the chart that you're kind of referring to, Alex, when we were bullish on Pinterest way back, and you can see why. I mean, follow the green line. That's the purchase intent. People talking about signing up for Pinterest. It is incredible. The use is extremely high. It spiked around COVID, but what's great is it was a behavior change for people. This has been a sustained increase, and now we're actually hitting all-time highs on purchase intent. And so very bullish on this company long term. For the short term, I think that's a little different conversation. They were just upgraded by an analyst that now the stock has surpassed that price target. We're up around 76. I do believe analyst expectations are very high. I think that, just looking at the data, LikeFolio is leaning bullish on this report in particular. Long term, we're very bullish on this report, just leaning bullish because the expectations are a bit high.
Yeah, Landon, you brought up a point that I think is the key metric here for Pinterest, and that is that number that you said, average revenue per user. And here's the numbers for Pinterest, right? I'll give you the competitors. I'll give you Facebook and Twitter. These are global numbers for these two firms. Facebook, $7.89 average revenue per user. That's big, right? That's massive. Twitter, $4.30 average revenue per user. Now let's get to Pinterest and break it down. Average revenue per user in the US for Pinterest, $3.85. Whoa, comparable to Twitter. However, that's US. Outside the US, average revenue per user, 21 cents. So that brings the average all the way down to $1 average revenue per user. So the question is, what can they do? What are they doing wrong international that they're doing right in the US? And how do you get the numbers of international, the average revenue per users up? Because you're right. If they do that, if they approach that number globally that they have just in the U.S., look out. Landon?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And what's interesting is just how much this is a gender broken down product, right? I think that this is clearly, I mean, we got three guys talking about it. I doubt any one of us really use Pinterest. I've dabbled on it, but frankly, this is a female product. It's, if you look at the number of the boards that have been increased, by the way, it's about 35% increase year over year on the number of boards that were made. But the biggest categories are in home decor, beauty, and women's fashion. This is a female-driven social platform, and it's actually a younger demographic. The amount of growth for users under 25 was about double the amount of growth for users over 25. I think that answers your question as to why the dollars are a little bit lower. But as that as that audience or as that user base matures and grows into more money, they're going to stick with Pinterest and they're going to spend their money there. So I think longer term, this can work out for them. But right now, for new users, they're pulling in much younger users. And of course, younger users have less money to spend. But they are doing a lot of great things. Everyone talked about the augmented reality, cool feature, the try on different makeup. I think that's fantastic, especially when you can't go into stores as much as you used to be able to. And of course, they've got other trends on their side as well. We talked about discovery, but there's also personalization, where people want things that are generated just for them or just for the person they're giving a gift to. And they've done a fantastic job of capitalizing on that. So they're with all the trends. I think they're doing a good job in the US. They need to get the numbers up outside the US because that's where the big portion of their user base is. And if you think about 75% of their users are outside the US, and they've got that minuscule number of dollars per user, what was it, 21 cents on ad revenue? If they can get that anywhere near where the US number is, imagine what that's going to do to their top line. So I'm sure they're working on that. And so far, they've executed flawlessly in the US. If they can get that international piece working, this could be like a multiplier effect on their top line revenue.